Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to the University of Texas School of Public Health, San Antonio virtual office hours. My name is Sue Duncan. I am the lead academic programs coordinator, and we are a brand new school here in San Antonio, and we are a collaboration between UT Health Science Center and UTSA. We are currently recruiting our inaugural class of students for our Generalist Masters of Public Health degree, which will begin August of 2024. And my goal for today is just to answer some of your questions about the admissions and application process. And also, I'm going to begin by providing you with some of the common questions and then give you an overview of the actual application. So the slides that you see right now are an image of our building. So that is actually the building that you'll be having classes in should you be accepted to the school. It is currently undergoing a lot of renovations right now. That's why we're not able to invite the community and students in, but we're hoping the renovations will be done early of 2024. So we will be excited to welcome people into our actual space at that time. And then the image you see to your right, that is actually the founding dean, Dr. Vasan Ramachandran. He probably would not particularly want his image on the very first slide because he repeatedly refers to the school as the People's School. But as the founding dean, I think he earns that place. All right, so he refers to the People's School because he sincerely wants to build a collaborative relationship between the school and the community that will positively impact San Antonio, South Texas, and beyond. So let's go ahead and jump into the questions. These are a few of the frequently asked questions when I talk to applicants or go out into the community. So first, when will classes start? Classes will start August of 2024. And when is the application deadline? The priority application deadline is January 15th. We will be accepting applications after that, but by submitting your application by January 15th, it's ensuring that you are more likely to get a place, more likely to be accepted, and possibly receive scholarships that are available. So what is the learning environment going to look like? We are going to follow a 16-week traditional semester, and it will be in-person instruction at the building that I showed you previously. Will financial aid be available? Yes, financial aid will be available, and the FAFSA will open in December. So you'll want to keep an eye out for that. That will be required in order to award any financial aid. And then finally, is there an application fee? Yes, there is technically an application fee within the application platform. However, if you contact the School of Public Health, we will send you a coupon code that will actually waive that application fee for you. So what are some of the admissions prerequisites for the Masters of Public Health? The prerequisites that we're looking for are communication and critical thinking skills, basic data literacy, which means maybe a statistics class or perhaps a higher level math class. And maybe in lieu of that, it would be work experience that has provided those data literacy skills. We're also looking for engagement in the community through volunteer hours, leadership positions, and a cumulative GPA of 3.0 in the last 60 undergraduate credit hours. Now, I say these are the prerequisites. However, we are reviewing all applications holistically. So if you don't specifically meet one of these prerequisites, it doesn't mean you're automatically disqualified. We're looking at your whole application. So that means academic performance, work experience, community service, and your potential for contribution to the field of public health. So if you are worried about not meeting, not having a statistics class, then still apply. It does not mean that you will not be admitted. So now I'd like to jump into the actual application. Some of you may have already, this may already be familiar to you, but others, I just want to point out to you that this screen is what you're going to see once you have actually created an account in the AHCAS platform. So you can access the application through our website. You'll create an account for yourself, and then you'll need to select University of Texas School of Public Health San Antonio. Once you select that program, that's when you'll get to see this screen and be able to begin completing the application. So there are 4 different categories that you'll be completing, but you don't have to complete them in a specific order. So if you wanted to jump into supporting information, you could. And after this presentation today, you'll have an idea of what's included in each category. So you may have an idea how you want to tackle completion of it. If it were me, I would start with personal information, just because that is going to be the easiest. So in personal information, it's exactly what you think. It's biographic information, your current address, your permanent address, citizenship information, just all that basic data that you'll need to include in your application. Now, the next category that we're going to look at is the academic history. So within academic history, it's still pretty straightforward. You're going to include your high school that you attended, any colleges you've attended, and then this is where you're going to actually upload a copy of your transcript. Now, you do not need to upload an official transcript. In fact, uploading it usually means that it's not official, but what we're looking for is just your unofficial transcript. And for instance, say that you are still in school, and so you're thinking, well, I'm not going to have any grades for my spring courses. That's okay. By now, you would have already enrolled in your spring courses, and that's all we need for now. Once you've been admitted, then you'll submit an official transcript, and we will do a review of that transcript, just a final review, and then, you know, we would be able to move forward with admitting you. We can do like a provisional admission, but don't worry about not having all of your final grades. Please just go ahead and submit that unofficial transcript in this section. And you'll also notice standardized tests are on here. However, we do not require any standardized tests. So you don't have to upload any information in that section. And then next is the supporting information. So there are 3 different categories here that are actually required. Now, the application platform allows you to fill in a lot of different information. So you see experiences, achievements, licenses, and certifications. If that applies to you, or if you want to fill that in, you can, but it is not required. What we're looking for are the evaluations, the essay, and the release statement in this section to be complete in order to consider your application complete. So for the evaluation, let's talk a little bit about what we're looking for. For the evaluations, it's actually 2 professional references. And so you may be wondering, well, I'm not sure who would qualify as a professional reference. For a professional reference, you could include an academic professor, an advisor. If you're working right now, you can include your work supervisor. It could also include someone from a community organization that you volunteer with. If you report to someone in that context, they would know about your skills and your interest in public health, most likely, or at least they could speak to what they've seen of your work ethic and your interest in the field. And that's really what we're looking for. We're not looking for letters from family and friends. We want specifically to hear about how you have engaged with public health and in your classwork or in your work experience. And so once you click on the evaluations, you will actually just be providing the name and address of your reference. And then they will be uploading information. And then if there's any additional information we request we'll notify you at a later time. But at this time, that's all that's included in this section. Now, the essay. The essay is a component of the application system. And I'm going to go ahead and share with you what the prompt is for this essay. So the prompt for the essay is, describe an experience that demonstrates your interest and commitment to your chosen health profession. Now, I don't want you to stress a lot about this essay portion. It is built into the application and we will review it. But if you were to pick, what to focus on, I would focus on that personal statement, which we'll get to in a few minutes. This essay, we're going to look at it for critical thinking and communication, language skills, but it's not a big focus as far as our attention within your application. So you do want to make sure you complete it, but don't stress about it. Don't make it really lengthy, just a few sentences. And then finally, you come to the release statement. And this is just where you are agreeing to the information that you provided was correct and to following, the application guidelines and understanding what is involved in the application process. So that is all that the release statement includes. So now we want to get to the important matter. This is the program materials. So within the program materials, this is going to include program information, supplemental questions, and the requested documents. And so the requested documents is really what I want to spend a few extra minutes on. Let's dive into the program materials. So this is what it'll look like once you click on that category. So you'll see in this area right here, it's the Home tab. Now, if you clicked on the Home tab, it's just going to give you information about the program. So hopefully you're already a little familiar with the program if you're attending this. If not, I would really direct you to our website because it's going to have a lot more information. But if you're already familiar with the program, you can skip that tab and go straight to the Questions tab. So on the Questions tab, this is called Supplemental Questions. And it was really just provided by our University Registrar's Office to eliminate any additional forms once you've been accepted. So these questions really pertain to your residency status and using that to determine what your tuition costs will be. So these questions will determine your in-state tuition versus out-of-state tuition. So that's all that's included in that supplemental question tab. Now the final tab is the Documents tab. So this is where you're going to upload your documents. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But I want to make a quick note. You see this highlighted portion here? It actually lists a deadline of July 15th, 2024. Now, that deadline is a little deceiving because it does not mean it's the application deadline. That just means that is the final date you would ever be able to log into this application. So after that date, the application is no longer available. The actual deadline for the application submission for our school is June the 1st. But once again, I really stress if you can, if possible, submit it by January 15th so that you're eligible for, any scholarships, any financial aid, and, we only have a certain number of spots. So also, you're more likely to gain admittance if you submit it early. So then let's take a look at the application documents. So this is the final tab, and this is where you will upload your resume or CV and your personal statement. And you want to make sure that it's in either doc or docx or PDF format. That's pretty standard. But then let's take a look at what you might want to include in that personal statement. So students are often anxious about, what are they looking for? What do I want to include? And I would say begin by begin by thinking about your why. So why are you even pursuing a graduate level degree? Why public health? And maybe you have been out of school for a little while. How does your work experience apply to a degree or a career in public health? And then also in this personal statement, think about your involvement in the community. How can you describe that to the admissions committee? And then what do you want the admissions committee to know about you? What makes you a good candidate for the Masters in Public Health program? So these are a few questions for you to think about as you craft that personal statement. You're just sharing who you are with the admissions committee and sharing why public health is an interest and important to you. And then ultimately, what do you want to use it for? Like, where do you see yourself contributing to the field of public health? So once you craft that personal statement, you'll upload it into the system, and then you will be able to move on to that application fee page. Hopefully, either you've already reached out to us or you can pause and email us for a coupon code. You'll enter that code in so you don't have to pay, and then you can click submit and your application will be complete. And from there, we will eventually be reviewing those applications after the first of the year. And we'll begin contacting students and setting up interviews. Now, interviews are not going to be super stressful, super intense. It's just an opportunity for us, once again, to get to know you and to have an actual conversation. Make it a little more personal. So that is the application process in a very, very short nutshell, a very small nutshell. I do want to speak on one additional thing. Obviously, this isn't a free program, and so I want to make sure that you're informed about, the charges for, what this is going to cost. What will this look like if you invest in this program? So tuition per credit hour, and the estimated direct cost right now is $316 per credit hour for a Texas resident, which, like I said, was established by those supplemental questions. Non-residents will be approximately $736 tuition per credit hour. So this gives you just a brief overview of what the first year would look like if you're enrolled full-time. And then finally, this is our contact information. So you can connect with us via social media. That QR code will direct you straight to the website. And this is the email. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. Or if you're far along into your application and already ready for that coupon code, just email us. I will send it to you. Each code is individual, just so you know, in case you're applying with friends, you aren't able to share that code because I have to keep track of it, but there are plenty of codes to issue to anyone who needs one.